Hi, this is Carrie Cooper for Guitar Centre's Focus on Rock. Now today we turn our attention to a smash hit song of the 1960s that was written for a very particular reason at the time, to encourage one young woman out from a deep meditation and to reconnect with the outside world. John Lennon took up the challenge immediately and dedicated Dear Prudence to Prudence Farrow, sister of Mia, while staying at an ashram in the far-flung north of India. So how did the Beatles come to be in India at the time, and how did the young Farrow's quest for enlightenment go on to inspire that White Album classic? Led by a very dedicated George Harrison, the Beatles' interest in Indian meditation practices took a serious turn when the Fab Four met Maharishi Mahesh Yogi in London in 1967 and signed themselves up for a transcendental meditation seminar in Wales soon after. TM is a form of meditation which its technique centres around avoiding distracting thoughts, something that would surely be most useful to four of the most famous and desired young men on the planet at the time. However, while attending the seminar in Bangor, Wales, the news of the death of their beloved former manager Brian Epstein filtered through, and the group left immediately to deal with the fallout. But they did promise to continue their meditative studies in the foothills of the Himalayas with Maharishi himself. And so, in February 1968, the Beatles, along with wives, girlfriends, employees and journalists, the not-so-incognito clan of soul surfers, headed to India. They were, however, far from the only groovy types already cross-legged there. Britain's self-proclaimed answer to Bob Dylan, Donovan, was way ahead of them, as was the Beach Boys' Mike Love. And among the musicians was actress Mia Farrow and sister Prudence. Now, Prudence was far from caught up with the whirlwind that was the Fab Four's arrival, instead choosing to meditate for hours and hours on end, locked in a room on her own. Discussing the song in an interview with Playboy, which was published posthumously in 1981, Lennon remarked that Farrow wouldn't come out of the little hut we were all living in. She'd been locked in there for 3 weeks and just wouldn't come out. She was trying to find God quicker than anyone else. That was the competition in Maharishi's camp. Who was going to get cosmic first? For Prudence, it was in fact after one particularly bad acid trip that led her to seek spiritual help in such a way. She remembers her fanaticism slightly differently. I'd been doing 5 days straight. I hadn't gone to the bathroom, I hadn't slept, and I hadn't eaten. After that, Maharishi realised what he was dealing with. As it turned out, the Beatles' time in India would be one of the most productive periods of their careers, writing around 30 songs between them in just a couple of months. Harrison around 6, McCartney 12, Lennon 15, and even Ringo wrote his first ever song in the ashram, with 18 of those tracks ending up on the White Album, of which the sweet and abstract Dear Prudence was one. Dear Prudence, won't you come out to play? Dear Prudence, greet the brand new day. The sun is up, the sky is blue, it's beautiful, and so are you. Dear Prudence, won't you come out to play? This is Carrie Cooper for Guitar Centre's Focus on Rock. You can shop for the greatest music gear on earth in store or at guitarcentre.com.